You're listening to Stories on Sleepless Nights. Just a heads up before we begin, everything shared on this podcast is meant strictly for entertainment. A good story to tune into when you can't sleep. Settle in and let's get started. Before we begin tonight's episode, please be advised that this story deals with severe stalking, home invasion, and physical assault. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Welcome back to Stories on Sleepless Nights. I'm your host, Genesis. And if you are listening in the dark, make sure your doors are locked. We often think of horror as something supernatural. Ghosts, curses, or things lurking in the shadows. But the scariest things in the world walk on two legs. They watch you from a distance, learn your daily habits, and wait for you to make a mistake. Now turn off the lights, log off your social media, and let's begin. The live feed. Mia lived in a small condo in Capitolio, Pasig. She was 24, working in marketing, and, like a lot of people her age in Metro Manila, her daily life was posted online in real time. If she got coffee at her favorite cafe along East Capitol Drive during lunch, she automatically tags the location. If she got stuck in traffic along EDSA on her way home, she posted a quick video from her Grab. And if she went for a weekend walk around the neighborhood, her followers knew her exact route. She wasn't trying to be an influencer. It was just a habit. She had a few thousand followers, mostly friends, acquaintances, and local accounts. She thought it was completely harmless. But it all started in the summer with small weird occurrences. One afternoon, Mia was sitting at her usual corner table in Capitolio, working on her laptop with her keys sitting on the table. A stranger bumped into her table, knocking her water glass onto the floor. In the few seconds it took to pick up the glass and clean up the mess, the man walked out. It wasn't until she got back to her condo door an hour later that she realized the spare brass key on her keychain was missing. She figured it fell off at the cafe and called a locksmith to change the main lock. 3 weeks later, she came home from work and found her front door unlocked. The deadbolt was disengaged. Inside, nothing was taken. Her laptop, cash, and jewelry were all sitting right where she left them. But on her kitchen counter, right next to the sink, was a half-empty cup of iced coffee from a small stall near her office. She hadn't bought it. Panic immediately set in. She filed a report with the local barangay and the police, but without any CCTV footage or a suspect, there wasn't much they could do except tell her to stay vigilant. That same night, she stopped posting online. But it was already too late. Whoever was doing this had spent months watching her stories. They knew where her bank was. They knew what time she took the elevator down to the lobby. And they knew which convenience store she went to late at night. Then the messages started coming from random social media accounts, photos taken from across the street while she waited for her ride in the rain, messages describing what shirt she was wearing inside her own living room. The fear destroyed her health. She stopped sleeping. She lost weight and broke down constantly. Desperate to escape, she broke her lease, used up all her savings, and moved across town to another condo in Greenfield District, Mandaluyong. She changed her phone number. She deleted her social media apps. She told almost no one where she moved. For 2 weeks, she finally felt safe. Then came a Friday night in August. A heavy thunderstorm was hitting Metro Manila, flooding the streets outside. Mia was sitting on her living room floor when her new phone, the number she kept private, vibrated. An unknown number sent an MMS. It was a picture of her new front door, taken from the hallway outside her unit just a few seconds ago. A second message flashed on her screen. Did you really think moving 5 kilometers away would hide you? You tagged the gym across the street on your first day here, Mia. Mia could not breathe. She scrambled to her feet and double-checked the deadbolt. Then her phone buzzed again with a name she hadn't seen in over a year. A text from Mark, her ex-boyfriend. They had broken up a year ago after he became possessive and controlling. The text read, "Check your bedroom closet. It's Mark." A wave of nausea hit her. She stood frozen in the middle of her dark living room, staring down the hallway toward her open bedroom door. Everything came together in an instant. It was Mark the entire time. He had used fake accounts to track her location tags for months, and he was the one who bumped her table at the cafe in Capitolio. And on moving day, while the movers were carrying her boxes inside with her front door propped open, Mia had left her new keys, sitting unattended on the counter. Mark only needed 60 seconds to slip inside, take the new key, run to a key duplication stall at the nearby mall, and put it back before she noticed. He hadn't just tracked her down tonight. He had been coming into her new apartment for days while she was at work. Down the hallway, the faint click of her bedroom closet door opening echoed through the dark apartment. Mia didn't scream. She didn't run for the front door. Her mind simply broke under the weight of the terror. She slid down against the living room wall, pulled her knees to her chest, opened her social media app with shaking hands, and started a live stream on her old account. Her followers slowly began tuning in. The feed was dark, lit only by the blue light of the screen. She didn't say anything. She just sat in the corner, rocking back and forth, staring blankly into the camera lens with wide bloodshot eyes, whispering her own name over and over again. And then Mark stepped into the frame behind her. Those watching the live stream watched in terror as the screen went chaotic, a blur of movement, muffled screams, the phone hitting the floor, and the sound of a physical assault happening off camera. Concerned friends watching the feed called emergency services, giving dispatchers her new address in Mandaluyong. When the police kicked the front door open, Mark was still inside. He was then tackled to the floor and was finally arrested. They found Mia huddled in the dark space beneath her kitchen sink, holding her arms over her head. Physically, she survived the night, but mentally, she never recovered. She never came back from that room. She suffered a complete nervous breakdown. Today, Mia lives in a quiet care facility outside the city. She doesn't use a phone, she doesn't speak to visitors, but she spends her days sitting near the window, looking over her shoulder, terrified of voices only she can hear. Mark was jailed, but it didn't really matter. He had already taken her life away. That is the devastating reality of stalking. The nightmare doesn't always end when the police arrive, because the psychological damage stays long after the person is put behind bars. When someone decides to turn your life into their obsession, the scars aren't just physical. So pay attention to what you share online. Keep your private life, well, private. And if you ever feel like something is wrong or that you're being followed, never, I mean never, ignore that gut feeling. That's all for tonight's episode of Stories on Sleepless Nights. If you haven't already, take a second to review your privacy settings online and always check in on your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review if you've enjoyed tonight's show. Until next time, stay alert, lock your doors, and sleep well, if you can. You've been listening to Stories on Sleepless Nights. If you're glad you tuned in, take a second to hit follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also join me on Facebook at Stories on Sleepless Nights to stay connected. Until next time, take care.